Ravens look to win 4 out of 5 with Lamar as a starter. Are we keeping up with the Steelers for the AFC North? And we go behind enemy lines with Kellen for an All Things Bucs podcast. This and a couple of things more coming right out.
Renegade.
Hey guys, my name is Sunny. Welcome to szsports. If this is your first time in the channel, please subscribe to the channel. I do 2 to 3 videos of the Ravens per week, including my preview to the game each week. That I added a going behind enemy lines with a podcaster, YouTuber, or blogger from the other teams. So we have the Bucs this week. Dangerous team for sure. Team that we should win, but dangerous team for sure. So I'm gonna start giving the stats on an offense, and in the past couple of weeks, I've been saying like, well, don't pay too much attention onto the Ravens stats because with Lamar it changed. Well, the stats are catching up with Lamar in the offense, right? And it's reflected. So let me start with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They're the second total offense, and it's because they're such a preliminary passing offense. So they're first overall in passing and 27th in the rush. So second total. Baltimore constructs, they're a little bit more balanced. They're 12th total, 4th in rushing, and 18 in passing. What can this tell you? Well, what this tells you is this team is very one-dimensional. It's very one-dimensional in the passing game. They do have 2 spectacular receivers. I love Evans coming out of college. When he played with Menzel, I think he's one of the reasons Menzel got drafted so high. D. Jackson's an explosive player. He can make a 90-yard catch and for a touchdown at any moment and flip the game, right? So they're dangerous. And the problem that we're having is Young has a groin injury, Humphries is dealing with a groin injury, and Jefferson probably is out because he hasn't practiced yet. So that is the area that concerns me, right? So what do I think it should happen? Well, they're bad against the run, and every time we have play against a bad team, bad running team, my main goal is, well, we need to make sure they keep being a bad running team. Because if you don't choke this running game, then what happens if they're a one-dimension team and they're going to become two-dimensional, right? They're going to start running the ball, they're going to throw play action, and their passing game that was good, it's going to be even better. So Winston, he hasn't played all year, but look, last week, 18 completions for 38 attempts, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Those are not great numbers. I mean, his completion percentage was pretty bad. If you compare it to Fitzpatrick for the year, he has 14 touchdowns, 12 picks. Fitzpatrick has more yards, but Winston is the QB. Winston, I think, has 12 interceptions as well. The problem or the opportunity we have is Winston, because he's not a game manager, he does try to push the ball. He leaves a lot of balls for interceptions. We need to pick 1 or 2 balls in this game. I'm sorry. I think there are going to be the opportunities. If we don't take advantage, it's going to be a closer game than I think it should be, right? Because, again, if they're one-dimensional, then you know what they're going to do. Every play, they're going to try to pass. You can plan better, right? There's no biting on play action. The linebackers can maybe stay in a zone play, right? That way, because they're not biting in the run, they're not running the ball well. They're again 27th overall in rushing. So this team is not a rushing team. Again, the most dangerous person is Mike Evans. Mike Evans has 70 catches for 1207 with 5 touchdowns. That's pretty good. He's a great receiver. He's tall. So what I think I would say Jimmy Smith, because he's more healthy than Humphries. Humphries might take him for 1 or 2 plays, but it looks like Deshaun is not going to play, right? And if Deshaun's not playing, their talent drops significantly after Mike Evans and Deshaun. So what I would hope is Jimmy on him, Carr on him too, but primarily Jimmy. I'm expecting man-to-man. I'm expecting maybe a safety over the top. probably Clark. That way you take their main guy out of the offense, right? Then you know Winston's gonna force that ball there. That's when the picks are gonna start. So again, I think Mike Evans, you almost bracket him and frustrate him. The running back, I mean, 677 yards, 4 touchdowns, not great. Like I said, Deshaun Jackson, he has 4 touchdowns, but he hasn't played the last 2 games. He's questionable. I don't expect him to play. Now let's go back to stats because I think our defense should be able to keep up with them. They put 14 points last week against the Saints. Saints are a defense that is okay, not great. This team can be stopped. What cannot happen is you can't let them start off fast. They have a big lead, and then Lamar has to get out of the comfort zone. Because let's look defensive numbers. 27 total. Ravens are second. Rushing defense. They're 20th. We are 4th. So a good rushing defense against a good, against a bad rushing attack. Flip that side. We are a good rushing offense against a bad rushing defense. And last, 27 against the pass are them, and we're 3rd. So this is a bad defense. So the only thing that worries me against this defense is their sacks. They had 34 sacks. JPP on the edge, right? He's been good for a while. They had Nassib, 6.5 for Nassib, 11.5 for JPP. And then from the inside, they have McCoy with 6 sacks. Those are things that worry me a little bit. The O-line needs to ball. If the O-line comes in and they can protect Lamar in the passing situation, and I think there's going to be running lanes for them, we're winning this game. Lamar needs to take care of the ball. Defense needs to frustrate Jameis. If we pressure Jameis Winston like we pressure Mahomes, oh my God, it's going to be a long day for them. So, what am I expecting? I'm expecting 34-14 Ravens, right? And just a quick summary. Almost bracket Evans, frustrate Evans. Make sure they don't have big running plays. Hit Winston. I want Jimmy on Evans for the most part. And that should be recipe for success on that side of the field. On the other side, they're a bad running defense. We're a great running offense. Push the ball, push the ball, push the ball. That will create open lanes on the throwing side for Lamar. They're still a very bad passing defense. So what does that lead us? Open throws for Lamar. I'm expecting Lamar to have like a 250-yard passing and 70-yard rushing. 2 touchdowns in the passing game. I actually don't think he's going to get any rushing this week. Give it to Gus or Dixon. So I'm expecting good games from Edwards and Dixon. And for Lamar, I think this should be a beatdown. 34-14 is what I'm expecting. So, guys, what I'm going to do is going to throw it to Kellen from All Things Bucs podcast. He's going to give you his view of this game and a score prediction.
Hey there, how's it going? My name is Kellen Pools. I am the owner of All Things Buccaneers. We cover the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I just want to say thank you to szgsports for having us on for this video here. I'm going to give you guys a little talk about keys to watch and also what to look for in the game and score prediction. So I was at last week's game in Tampa, and we saw a complete collapse with the team and everything. We saw that the team just had no discipline. Players were yelling at each other. They were starting off to win in the first half, but collapsed in the second half. And we've had a lot of games like that this year. That we are 5-8 right now, but we lost 4 games within 5 points. So it puts in perspective that maybe we're not as bad as a team, but at the same time, wins matter and losses too. So it's not really good for us right now. So looking into what to look for in the game, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers right now I'm pretty sure they're the 2nd overall in total offense, and the Baltimore Ravens are 2nd in total defense. I think it could be a very close game, and I think that defense is what overall makes a whole team win, and no turnovers, etc. Right? But I heard that Joe Flacco is out, so it's interesting to see what matchups will be. Looking at Baltimore's offense against our defense, we have few rookie cornerbacks, a lot of injuries going on right now, which isn't really good for the team. Looking at us as well on our offense, Jameis Winston's been pretty hot lately and been not turning over the ball and actually completing passes and playing smart football. Pro Football Focus ranked Jameis about, he's like the number one quarterback under pressure, one of the top ones as well. And so I would look at Baltimore's like stud defense against Jameis Winston, and if they can get pressure on him, then that would be success for Baltimore. But if we limit turnovers and stay disciplined, that's another thing. We had a lot of penalties in the last few weeks of unnecessary roughness. There's a lot of undisciplined calls, a lot of blocking in the back, special teams penalties. There's a whole lot of sides of the ball that we're not being disciplined on, and so that's something I would look at. If the Buccaneers are not going to play disciplined, if they're not going to be if they're not going to execute on the ball on all sides, then the Ravens have a good chance on playing very well football against us. But if Bucs play smart and actually make our field goal kicks, then we'll be good. So looking at that, I just want to say thank you once again, and I really appreciate it. And look forward to the game and seeing what the outcome will be. So I think the final score, trying not to be biased to the Buccaneers, right? If I'm going to be biased to the Bucs, I'm going to say it's going to be a high-scoring game. It's going to be 32 to 28. Or if the Ravens win, it's going to be 31 to 17. All right. Thank you very much, and have a good one.
Guys, what do you guys think about what he says? Are we winning? Are we losing? Do you agree with Kellen? Do you don't? Put comments below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and follow me at szgsports. I will see you next time, guys.